The court in Barbados gives the green light for Commonwealth citizens to vote. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Tuesday, May 8th. From the CMC News Centre in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. A Court of Appeal decision in Barbados has paved the way for CARICOM nationals and other Commonwealth citizens living in the country for at least 3 years to vote in elections. But the ruling may not have come in time for those people who qualified to participate in the May 24 poll. On Monday, the Court of Appeal threw out long-standing rules of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, the EBC, that blocked Commonwealth citizens from voting. A 5-member legal team had challenged the EBC's long-held policy that only people who had citizenship, permanent residency or immigrant status could be registered to vote. The class action suit was filed on behalf of St. Lucian-born academic Professor Eddie Ventus, Grenadian Shireen and Mathlin Tulloch, Jamaican Michelle Melissa Russell, and Montserratian Sharon Juliet Edgecombe Miller. One of the attorneys for the group, Gregory Nichols, said the appellate court ruled that the EBC and the Chief Electoral Officer had unlawfully refused to register his clients on the electoral list. But he also said he did not know if they would get onto the list for the upcoming poll, as Monday was the last day for voters to ensure their names were included. But he stressed that if a person's name was not on the list and they had applied and met the criteria, there was a process to appeal to the Chief Electoral Officer. The lawyer therefore urged all eligible Commonwealth citizens who want to vote but were excluded to go to the Electoral Department on Tuesday and protest not being on the preliminary voters list. Staying on the elections front in Barbados, an unofficial count from nominations submitted on nomination day on Monday showed that even more candidates than initially anticipated have registered for the election race. 132 people will be competing for the 30 seats in Parliament, among them a record 36 women. The total number is almost twice the candidate list in the last 2 elections. Despite being 2 years away from the next general election in Trinidad and Tobago, political leader of the United National Congress, the UNC, is promising a reduction in taxes if her party gets back into office. Kamala Persad-Bissessar made the promise as she addressed supporters at the UNC's weekly meeting in Tunapuna on Monday night. She said while the Keith Rowley-led administration wants to tax citizens into prosperity, that plan is not feasible.
And you know why? You cannot tax a country, a people into prosperity. You cannot. You cannot do it. You would see, we just got the public accounts from the Auditor General. And when you go into that, Imber had boasted he's going to hire an army of tax collectors.
Persad-Bissessar is also promising to give tax breaks to new businesses.
We exempt property taxes for these businesses that are starting up. The new ones will be creating the jobs. We increase customs duties on imported products that we want to manufacture, yes? So you discourage the imports, they raise that price, and we produce them here with jobs. We have to protect our manufacturers. The rest of the world is doing it. A UNC government will protect our manufacturers.
A 28-year-old man has been accused of sending death threats to Bermuda's Premier David Burt. Jared Gordon allegedly committed those offenses along with demanding money and various items from the island's leader in video messages and emails between October last year and March this year. One of the emails sent in October 2017 allegedly warned Burt that, and I quote, "Ignoring me, asking for a budget is driving me to a point of me wanting to tell you this to your face. I would really put a hole in your head," end of quote. Gordon was also charged that on or about March 28, 2018, he caused Premier Burt to receive an email threatening that he would be pulled out of his house and his head chopped off with a hacksaw. Gordon appeared in the magistrate court on Tuesday morning and was not required to enter a plea, as the matter must be heard in the Supreme Court. He was granted bail but warned not to have any contact with Premier Burt and also ordered to report regularly to the police station. Gordon is set to reappear in the Supreme Court monthly arraignment session in June. And over in Jamaica, death threats have also been made against the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, the JTA. Georgia War Richards made the disclosure at an education symposium on Monday, but she says it won't stop her fighting for teachers. Andrea Chisholm of TVJ reports.
Long and hard. That's how the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, has described the wage negotiation process with the government. It even led to a 3-day sick-out. And now, news that the woman leading the charge was personally affected.
In this business of protecting teachers' rights and ensuring improved salaries and benefits for teachers, you can't have friends. You can't wear colors. You can't mind. Even when death threats are sent to you, you can't look at death. You must look at the life of the teachers you are representing.
Georgia War Richards said she remained committed to the process. Progress has been made. Things are looking better for public sector teachers.
We believe at this time that we have something that we can bring to the teachers of Jamaica, for the teachers of Jamaica to look at in a serious way. If there was any fellow that pulled back when my life was threatened and when my family had to be locked in a house, my children had to be pulled from school. So when I come to you now, I come to you seriously.
The JTA will consider the latest wage offer from the government at a special council meeting this Friday.
Guyana's Public Security Minister Kemraj Ramjatan is seeking to boost security cooperation with Suriname as authorities look for the perpetrators of the high seas attack of that country that is believed to have left 15 Guyanese fishermen dead. Ramjatan has been having high-level discussions with Surinamese authorities. He congratulated the officials on the work they have done so far in capturing the pirates, and he says Guyana is prepared to offer whatever assistance is needed to solve the attacks.
Intelligence in relation to those whom we know were involved in piracy attacks and whatever other intelligence we have. I can't give you all the details, as you must appreciate that that is a confidential thing. And we are working very much jointly in that regard. That is as much that was requested at this time, but we have opened up ourselves. Whatever else that the Surinamese authorities will require of us in Guyana or from Guyana, we are willing to share.
Guyanese fishermen say they need protection when they return to the sea, and authorities say they are looking to have plans in place to organize protection for fishermen at the highest level.
That we will provide the safeguarding of the fishermen within a week. It will be a cooperation between the police force, the Minister of Defense and the Coast Guard.
Still in Guyana, former Finance Minister in the People's Progressive Party administration, Dr. Ashni Singh, was granted $6 million Guyana bail on Tuesday when he appeared in court on charges of misconduct in public office. Singh, and with the former head of the National Industrial and Commercial Investment Limited, Winston Bressington, have been jointly charged by the Special Organized Crime Unit with 3 counts of misconduct in public office surrounding the sale of 3 pieces of government land on the east coast of the Demerara between December 2008 and May 2011. Brassington was also released on $6 million Guyana bail. The prosecution alleges that in one instance the property was sold below market value, while in the other 2 the deals went ahead without proper land valuation. In court on Tuesday, the men were not required to plead to the 3 indictable charges. Both had failed to make an appearance in court on Monday when the matter was first called. They are reported to be residing overseas. Magistrate Anne McLennan had refused a request by former Attorney General Anand Nandlal for the bail to be reduced to $1 million. And Nandlal later told reporters that his client had to resort to mobilizing cash to post the bail, or they would have been sent to the Georgetown prison pending the valuation of a property and the submission of transport as surety.
There was absolutely no reason for former Minister of Government and a former top public officer who have both served their country with distinction and discharged their functions of their office with distinction to be treated in this dehumanizing and degrading manner. This was done to humiliate and embarrass them. But this world is a revolving world. Today is someone's day, tomorrow it will not be the same.
The two are due to reappear in court on June 5th, and the special prosecutor Trenton Lake said he would apply for the case to be tried summarily instead of indictably, which would require a preliminary inquiry to determine if they should face trial by a High Court judge and jury. Singh and Brassington faced a maximum penalty of 1 year in jail if found guilty. And while the courtroom was filled to capacity, supporters and officials of the PPP staged a protest outside the magistrates' court where they alleged the charges were part of a political witch hunt. Those offering their support to the accused were former President Donald Ramota and former Prime Minister Samuel Hines. After posting bail, Singh and Brassington maintained their innocence. Coming up in
discovery, they were publicly disclosed by our government, as indeed were all of our other privatization transactions. I hasten to add, unlike those of our predecessors in office and our successors in office, our privatization transactions were subject to full transparency and scrutiny.
And coming up in Caribbean Newsline, an environmentalist in Trinidad and Tobago arrested while protesting. Stay with us. There's more news after this break.
On May 12th, as the Anthony N. Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence is broadcast live from the Pegasus Hotel in Jamaica. Join us from 7:30 p.m. Eastern Caribbean Time as Kai Miller of Jamaica, Noel and Siobhan Joseph of Trinidad and Tobago, Andrew Boyle of Guyana, and Adesh Ramsubag of Trinidad and Tobago receive $500,000 TT, a medal and citation for their work in the arts, sciences, public and civic contributions, and entrepreneurship.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Welcome back. In Trinidad and Tobago, environmentalist Dr. Wayne Kublal Singh has been arrested while protesting yet again. This time he was taken into custody after lying on the ground to prevent a sanitation truck driver from going to power wash the Arima market, where vendors are protesting the removal of stalls, which Borough Corporation says is necessary to properly clean the facility. A defiant Kublal Singh was forcibly removed by a joint team of Borough Corporation police officers and police. He has been charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest, and his behavior is not sitting well with the mayor of Arima.
To treat with this administratively is not to go on public media and demonize them. It's not to send police for them.
Just a few hours before his arrest, Dr. Kublal Singh sought to be the voice of reason, pleading the cause of the Arima market vendors. But as the sun rose high in the sky, so did the tensions. And then this happened. Kublal Singh flat on the floor. According to the Arima mayor, he willingly put himself there.
The information I received from the municipal police, Dr. Kublal Singh obstructed the sanitation team from carrying out their duties in the Arima market. And at one point, he threw himself onto the ground, and the TTPS from Arima arrested him.
The mayor says she's disappointed in Dr. Kublal Singh.
But as far as I was told, he was contacted by one vendor, and he took it upon himself to use the Arima market as a platform for whatever agenda, whatever reason.
Government and opposition legislators in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are set to debate a controversial constitutional bill on May 24th. And amid suggestions that the Attorney General's referenced Constitutional Questions Bill 2018 is intended to use a backdoor approach to remove the London-based Privy Council as the island's highest court, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says that is not the case. He told legislators that the bill does not say anything about taking away the right of citizens to appeal to the Privy Council, and he urged a stop to what he termed scaremongering. Opposition members of Parliament last week asked Prime Minister to consult the public before pushing through the bill that they say would change elements without the need for a referendum. But Gonsalves said the legislation merely gives legal standing to an agreement government and opposition lawmakers came to in a parliament in January. At that time, there was much debate on whether it was necessary for a majority of lawmakers to agree that a motion of no confidence can be brought before debate on the matter could begin. Opposition Senator Kay Bacchus-Batiste told Parliament that the bill goes beyond the ambit of what lawmakers agreed during the debate on votes of no confidence. And she said the bill is so far-reaching that it should not go through all three stages in one sitting of Parliament. And ahead of Newsline Sport, controversy over the appointment of a new ombudsman to the Guyana Cricket Board. That's sport and development and more after the break.
Anthony and Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence is broadcast live from the Pegasus Hotel in Jamaica. Join us from 7:30 p.m. Eastern Caribbean Time as Kai Miller of Jamaica, Noel and Siobhan Joseph of Trinidad and Tobago, Andrew Boyle of Guyana, and Adesh Ramsubag of Trinidad and Tobago receive $500,000 TT, a medal and citation for their work in the arts, sciences, public and civic contributions, and entrepreneurship.
Brown. She's suing her co-worker Destiny Pierre for slipping a laxative in a meal after she gave her the okay to enjoy. She seeks $1,000 for lost wages and punitive damages for the humiliation she endured after she went potty on herself in the restaurant. This is the case of when duty calls.
Ms. Brown, continue, please.
So anyways, I had asked her, I said, yo, what did you put in the food? Like that. She was like, I ain't put nothing in it.
Former Guyana Cricket Board Administrator Claude Raphael says the current executive crossed the line in appointing a new ombudsman to the board, and he's now calling on the Attorney General to intervene in the matter. Isan Griffith of Capital News tells us more.
In an interview today, Raphael stated that the decision made by the Guyana Cricket Board flouts the new Cricket Administration Act.
The act has not changed. The minister is still the person who is supposed to appoint the ombudsman. And although there was an ombudsman appointed, the very people who have gone ahead and appointed this new ombudsman, they're the ones who were frustrating the whole process all along. And I don't see any part of the act that gives them the authority to appoint an ombudsman before the first election is held of the Guyana Cricket Board.
Raphael, who is also part of the concerned stakeholders group, said that the group is not taking the appointment lightly and will be taking steps to have the matter dealt with.
Quite obvious that this Guyana Cricket Board does not want an election to happen. It doesn't want a free and fair election to happen. It knows that a free and fair election is not in its own interest, apparently, because I don't see no reason why you'd want to continue to perpetuate this confusion, this chaos within our cricketing framework, within the cricketing body. The Bobbies has had their share of confusion. They've had it sorted out through the courts, and look at what is happening in Bobbies in terms of sponsors coming on board. Cricket is being developed. Cricket is being accentuated through all levels in Bobbies. So you can see, like a whole veil has lifted over the cricketing scenario, the environment of cricket. So, to my mind, if we have free and fair elections, everybody would accept what comes out of free and fair election and move on. There would be no cause for division. But the incumbents now seem to want and revere in a situation where you have confusion and division in the cricket.
He said it has been months now since the meeting with the Attorney General Basil Williams and former Minister of Sports Nicolette Henry, and still nothing has been done to fix the problem with the Guyana Cricket Board elections, except for a promise from Minister of Sports, Dr. George Norton.
We did find some favor with meeting with Minister Norton, and he did promise to sort out this whole confusion, this illegality, this chaos that exists right now in the cricket. And he did promise that he would have a new ombudsman appointed. So, you know, we're still waiting on him. That was like 2 months ago, and I don't know what's keeping the process back. I read in the newspaper that the minister is seeking legal opinion on the way forward here, which is surprising because I think it's pretty clear what the rules are, and I don't know that there hasn't been any change to the law.
The concerned cricket stakeholder group are hoping that better sense will prevail and are calling on the authorities to move speedily to hold fresh elections for the Guyana Cricket Board.
Former Pakistan leg spinner Mushtaq Ahmed will have a month-long stint on the West Indies bowling staff as the squad prepares for the upcoming Sri Lanka series. The 47-year-old will join the Caribbean side shortly on the short-term appointment, which is expected to see him focus on developing the Windies' spin assets. Cricket West Indies is yet to announce the appointment, but Mushtaq said he is looking forward to the assignment. Media reports said there was a possibility the stint could be extended. Mushtaq spent 6 years as a spin consultant with the England side, helping them to win the T20 World Cup and the Ashes series. He has also been head coach of the Pakistan Cricket Academy and has also served in several coaching positions in the Pakistan Super League and the Indian Premier League. Mushtaq took 185 wickets in a 52-test career while picking up 161 scalps for 144 one-day internationals. West Indies faced Sri Lanka in 3 tests from June 6th to 27th. And staying with cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad on Monday won their 8th match in 10 outings to top the Indian Premier League standings. But not for the first time this season, West Indies T20 captain Carlos Brathwaite played no part. The 29-year-old big-hitting all-rounder, best known for his 6-hitting exploits in the T20 World Cup 2 years ago, has struggled to break into the Sunrisers 11 and is yet to play a single game for the franchise. He was picked up in the draft last January for $314,640 after 2 largely underwhelming seasons with Delhi Daredevils. He played 10 matches, but hopes of reviving his IPL career have subsequently hit a snag through lack of opportunity. Early in the tournament, Brathwaite said he had been cautioned by head coach Tom Moody that he would not play a central role in the campaign. Sunrisers play again on Thursday when they take on Delhi Daredevils before clashing with Dwayne Bravo's Chennai Super Kings on Sunday and Royal Challengers Bangalore on May 17th. Their final game will be against Sunil Narayan's Kolkata Knight Riders 2 days later. Veteran Barbadian jockey Patrick Husbands took his share of the headlines at Woodbine on Sunday when he rode 2 winners on the day's 10-race card. The 44-year-old opened his account in race 5 over 7 furlongs with 3.5 favourite Southern Greatness before returning to the winners' enclosure with another odds-on bet in race 7 with Bayard. Challenged through the first quarter by court battle, and Athena's Legacy Husbands got Southern Greatness to the front coming off the turn, dismissed monetary system in the stretch and took the wire full of running. Woodbine's Robert Geller has the call.
Back to fourth, the Real Quaff. A length away, monetary system from Detroit Steel, and worse than mid-pack. The others on the inside going through as Majestic Gold Miner and Mohawk Style, the centre. And in behind them came, well back at this point, Cinnamon Bear, Time for a Star, and Friendly Giant second last. The one at the back is One Little Sparrow. Court battle in front. Southern Greatness in second, just a half away. One away third, Monetary System cuddled up on the inside of Athena's Legacy. Southern Greatness going for the lead now. Back in fifth, the Real Quaff, then Detroit Steel. Behind them came Majestic Gold Miner, and off the track, running on a bit, is Time for a Star around Mohawk Style, then Cinnamon Bear, Friendly Giant. One Little Sparrow is a long last. Southern Greatness broke away. Southern Greatness going well. Monetary System wriggling home on the outside. They're the top two now, and down the centre running on is Detroit Steel. It is Southern Greatness being chased by Monetary System. Southern Greatness by 2 lengths. Monetary System is all out, and Southern Greatness is not stopping. Southern Greatness running on to win. Southern Greatness a length and a quarter. Monetary System again second. 6 away, court battle third.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
This is the plaintiff, Shakina Brown. She's suing her co-worker Destiny Pierre for slipping a laxative in a meal after she gave her the okay to enjoy. She seeks $1,000 for lost wages and punitive damages for the humiliation she endured after she went potty on herself in the restaurant. This is the case of When Duty Calls.
Ms. Brown, continue, please.
So anyways, I had asked her, I said, yo, what did you put in the food? Like that. She was like, no, I ain't put nothing in it.
Again, the major developments of this day, a Court of Appeal decision in Barbados paves the way for Commonwealth citizens living in the country for at least 3 years to vote in elections. And in sport, a former Guyana Cricket Board administrator calls on the Attorney General to intervene in the controversial appointment of a new ombudsman to the board. That's Caribbean Newsline. Do have yourselves a very good evening.